Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and thank you. I'm glad so many of you are having success with my discovery. But today, I want to take a moment to talk about something important. What is open source? What is and isn't my technology, and why that matters? This video, like all of my videos, is for educational purposes only. This system is not something you can just push beyond its limits without understanding the consequences. It's a base technology, and what you do beyond that base is 100% your own responsibility. Now, this is exactly what Identity Withheld, the cartoon guy, is talking about. Quote, you don't know if that's going to burn your house down. You don't know what batteries they're using, nor do you know what controller they're using. That's very dangerous to tell them do this. That's a very, very dangerous thing. This is why I said protect yourself, Chris, because that's not a good statement to be putting out on the internet with your name attached to it. I'm just being cautious here. Unquote. Why did he say that? Because people don't follow directions. Some do outrageous things with no regard for design or safety. Some assume if 1 volt works, then 1,000,000 volts should too. It doesn't work that way. This is why I say again, we are not telling anyone to go do this. We're showing what's possible at the base level. You're responsible for what you build beyond that. We are working with professionals to build versions of this system properly. I've taken the risk to show the concept, not to tell you to go replicate it blindly. So when people say, is this dangerous? Yes, if done improperly, anything can be. But when done right and when understood properly, this is a major breakthrough. That's why we're taking the steps now to protect both the idea and the people using it. Understanding the two technologies. 1. What is not your technology? Using 2 charge controllers, one for voltage and one for amperage, is standard industry practice. This is not your invention. It has existed for years in solar and battery systems. The reason you're referencing is because some components inside those charge controllers can demonstrate how your concept works. But this does not mean you created the idea of dual controllers. 2. So what is my technology? Using LED-driven solar panels to produce usable energy. Amp injection, specifically manually feeding current, amps, into a charge controller circuit, such as by hooking a battery directly to it. This controlled amp injection into a system designed mainly for voltage input is your unique method. Highlighting that the amps don't have to come from a battery is a major point too. You're pointing toward future circuit development, not relying on crude methods. Let's get clear on something because this part often gets misunderstood and twisted on purpose. The use of 2 charge controllers, one for voltage, one for amperage, specifically is my idea, but not my technology. That's part of standard industry practice and has been around a long time. People in solar and battery fields have used it for years. Let's give credit where it's due. But they only hook solar panels to their concept, not batteries. So why did I reference it? Because inside those charge controllers are components, things like regulators, current limiters, and protection circuitry that help you see for yourself that what I'm doing isn't fake or clickbait. It's real, it's repeatable, and it opens the door to something new. Here's what is my technology. Using LED-driven solar panels to generate energy in a new way. The concept of amp injection, where I hook a battery or any amp-producing source directly into the charge controller, not to charge it, but to use it as a current driver. Is my technology, my idea, my concept? And that's the breakthrough. And it's important to say this. Those amps don't have to come from a battery. I only showed it that way because the technology is still in its infancy. We're about to build full circuits to handle this on a professional level. That's why we gave you this foundation, to show the logic behind what's coming. So no, this isn't a scam. And it's not reckless. We told people to use 2 charge controllers because it helps visualize and validate what's really happening. It lets you see where the amps and volts are coming from 2 different sources, provides evidence that this idea is functional, logical, and worth developing. And that's the difference. You're not just watching something someone made up. You're seeing the start of something new. Now let's talk about the real reason this technology is facing resistance. See, this isn't just about science. It's about control. It's about people, companies, even industries who never wanted you to know this was possible. They've had similar discoveries shelved for years, waiting for the right moment to cash in. That's why they're scared now, because we showed you something working that they thought would never leave the lab. And now they're scrambling. Instead of acknowledging the breakthrough, they go into psychological warfare mode. They say it's clickbait. They call it dangerous. They accuse it of being a scam. Let me tell you something. If this was so dangerous, why haven't they warned people about all the other DIY projects online with lithium packs, inverters, and high-amp setups? Why now? Why this? Because what we showed you in the last video is a threat to the way energy is supposed to be sold. It wasn't a 1,000-watt panel. It wasn't a lab full of equipment. It was a small, LED-driven solar panel, and when we added amps the right way, the output changed radically. That's not supposed to happen. Not according to them. And this is what makes it so powerful. Because now people are waking up and asking, if this little panel can do that, what else have they kept from us? So let me say it again. We're taking this to professionals to develop a proper, safe version. We're not telling anyone to jump into high-power circuits. We're not telling people to risk their lives. We're proving something works. And that's what they hate most. Not that it's wrong, but that it's right, and the wrong people found out first. Let's go deeper. See, sometimes it's not until someone says it out loud that the power of what we've built truly hits home. That's what happened when Phil, a real person just like many of you, reacted to one of our videos. He said, "Gosh, imagine 4 panels at like 145E times 4 equals 580V. That's insane. How can you use this amount of volts? There's no charge controllers that will take that amount of voltage for sure. Just adding 2 amps to that would be over 2 kilowatts, LOL." And I had to stop him right there. Whoa, back up. Even one panel, the little one I showed made from toy solar parts, was putting out 180 volts. He didn't believe it at first, until I pulled up the specs on the Growatt SPF 3000 TL inverter. That's a real system, real money. And guess what? It can't take more than 145 volts. That's right. This expensive professional-grade system, something marketed for real off-grid power, would be destroyed by my little LED-driven panel. Not because it's high amperage, just voltage. That image alone should stop people in their tracks. You have a $500 plus machine outperformed or at least overwhelmed by a solar panel built from recycled toys and lit by artificial light. Let that sink in. And it doesn't stop there. Later in this video, I'm going to show you some massive systems. EV chargers and industrial scale inverters that can handle 180V and more. But they cost thousands of dollars and are too big to fit in your van, let alone your backpack. So what are we saying here? That the tech exists, but it's locked behind bulk, bureaucracy, and price tags. What I'm showing you is a door to access that power at a fraction of the size and cost. This is why we need to upgrade what we have. Not just copy the old systems, but build new systems designed for what this discovery is really doing. We're not done. We're just getting started.